Hello, welcome to the video Spring Boot CSV export with me, Nam Hà Minh from CodeJava.net. Through this video, you will learn how to implement export CSV function for a Spring Boot application using Super CSV library. Suppose that we have an existing Spring Boot project using the following technologies: Spring Data JPA, Hibernate framework, Thymeleaf, and MySQL JDBC driver. And I'm using the following software programs to develop the project: Java Development Kit JDK, Spring 2 Suite IDE, MySQL Database Server, and MySQL Workbench tool. Here I have an existing Spring Boot project in Spring 2 Suite IDE. Let me start this Spring Boot application. Start. As you can see, this Spring Boot application is configured to be available to access through this context path. So open browser to access this Spring Boot application. http localhost 8080 shop me admin, and I have to log in. Here we go. This here submit admin cPanel, and you see this is a users management module listing all users of the application. And we are going to implement the export to CSV function here that allows the users to download all the data of the users as a CSV file. Currently, this function has not yet been implemented, and we are going to implement this export to CSV function shortly. Before writing code, let me explain to you how the export to CSV function will work in a Spring Boot application. From the user interface, the user list page, the user click the export to CSV hyperlink button to download CSV export, and the export to CSV method of the user controller class is invoked, and this controller class has a reference to the user services class. The user services class has a list of methods that retrieves all users from the database, and this user services class has a reference to user repository interface. User repository interface, which is API repository interface that implements the FIDO method, and in turn it will work with Spring Data API. Spring Data API will work with Hibernate framework, and Hibernate will talk with JDBC driver to connect to the database and get the data. And the list of users are written back through the application to the end user to download the CSV file. And note that we have the entity class user that maps with the users table in the database. So I hope this diagram helps you understand the logic of the export to CSV function in our Spring Boot project. I will be using Super CSV library to export data to CSV format. You know, Super CSV is a free open source library that allows programmers to export data to CSV format in Java. And the first step is to add the dependency for super CSV in the Maven form.xml file here. So we specify the dependency for our CSV library, super CSV here. Dependency group ID is net.sf.super CSV, and artifact ID is super-CSV, and I'm using the latest version, which is 2.4.0. And you can see the jar file for super CSV here, super CSV version 2.0, 2.4.0. And now let's implement the export to CSV method in the controller class user controller. As you can see, this is a user's list page that displays a list of users here, and the hyperlink, the link for the export to CSV here with this URL mapping. So copy this and write the handler method in the controller class, and this is a controller class, user controller, Spring MVC controller class. We use the annotation red mapping, and the URL to be handled is slash user slash export public void export to CSV. And in this method, we need to have a reference to the response, which is of type HTTP service response. And this is the activity diagram that helps you understand the workflow of the CSV export function. First, we need to set HTTP headers so the user can download the CSV file generated. We get data from the database, and then we open a CSV writer using a super CSV library, and we write the first line for the CSV, the header line, and then we write all the data lines to the CSV file, and finally we close the CSV writer, and then the user will be able to download the generated CSV file. And this is MySQL Workbench in my computer, and this is a database we are working on, SubmitDB, with the users table here. We need to export data from this table. Let's select rows from this table, and you see there are 17 rows from this users table. And this is the entity class user that maps with the users table in the database with the properties ID, email, password, full name, photos enabled. and we export only the ID, email, full name, and enabled. Now let's write code for this method. First, we need to set the HTTP headers response set content type for the response is text /CSV, and we declare the file name is users.csv, and we declare header key for download file is content disposition, and the header value is attachment file name equal to the CSV file name plus file name. So we need to set this header to the response so the user will be able to download the CSV file. Response set header key and header value. And next we need to add all the users from the database. List users equal service. Service is a reference to the user service class. List all. The list all in the user service class here delegates the code to the file or method of the user repository interface, which is a subtype of JPA repository interface. And this is a user repository interface that extends a JPA repository interface. And then we need to open a CSV writer. For Super CSV library, we use CSV bin writer. CSV writer equal new CSV bin writer. And we pass the writer of the response writer. And the preference is standard preference CSV preference dot standard preference. We need to add throws declaration for this method. I'm using a Spring Boot developer tool, so when I save changes to the code, the server will automatically restart it. And we need to write the first line to the CSV file, which is a header line. String, declare a string array for the CSV header equal user ID, email, full name, rows, and enable. We also export rows of the user. and we declare a string array for the name mapping between the header column with properties in the Java Bean class, which is a user class here. ID, email, password. ID, email, full name, rows enabled. These names must be the properties in the entity class user here. Full name, rows, you see. And then we write the first line, the header line to the CSV. Write header, CSV header. And then for each user in this list collection, we write a line to the CSV file for user in list users. CSV writer, right? Because we are using the CSV bin writer, so we can pass user object here and the name mapping to map the columns in the CSV with the properties in the Java object. And finally, we close the writers. Close CSV writer. So the response we flash and the user will be able to download the generated CSV file. That's it for the export to CSV method. Save the changes. I'm using Spring Boot developer tool, so it automatically restarts the application. Now test. I have to log in again. Okay, and click export to CSV. The site can't be reached. We got an error somewhere. Let's see in the console view here. We got an error. No class not found exception. Super CSV bin writer. I think we need to stop the application and start from scratch. We have the dependency for super CSV here, which is correct. Net not sf not super CSV, and we have a jar file for super CSV here. Okay, let's start this application again. Sometimes automatic restart feature doesn't work properly. Okay, let's again. Log in again. And export to CSV. And now you can see the browser pop-ups save as dialog to save the downloaded file to CSV. Save, and we have the CSV file downloaded here. Click to open. And by default, Microsoft Excel program will open the CSV file, and you see the content of this CSV file here. The first line is a header here. with columns user ID, email, full name, roles, and enable. You see, and rows the data for the user here. Exactly the data in the database here in the user table here. We don't export password and photo. Very good, right? And we want to sort the list by the email of the user, so we can update our code. In the we need to sort user controller the list or method here. We can pass a sort object here to sort the result. Sort by, and the field is email in ascending order. Email ascending. Save the change and test again. You need to log in again because the application has been restarted. Now, export to CSV, and this time you see the file name is abandoned with the number 1 because it is the second file. Open, and you can see in the CSV file exported, the list of user is now sorted by the email of the user in ascending order. You see, awesome, right? Now let's update the code to generate the file name based on the current date and time. Okay, so we create a new date format. Date formatter equal new simple date format, and we specify pattern is 4 numbers of year, 2 numbers of month, 2 numbers of day, and underscore hour, minute, and second. And then we concatenate the date time to the file name here. String current date time equal date formatter format new date object, which is current date and time. Okay, current date time. That's it. So every time the user clicks export hyperlink, the file name will be different based on the date and time. Now let's test. Log in again. Export to CSV, and now you can see in the file name, date and time is appended to users. Year, month, day, and hour, minute, second. Save. Open. And this is a newly generated CSV file. And we can test by create a new user and then export. Email is ravikumar at gmail.com. Full name Ravi Kumar. Password Ravi. Roles, cell and editor not enable, and save. Okay, the user has been saved successfully, and now let's export. And this time you see the file name with the current date and time. Save and then open. And now in the newly generated CSV file, you see the newly created user Ravi Kumar here. Awesome, right? So far you have learned how to implement a CSV export function from existing Spring Boot application. I hope you found this video helpful. Please subscribe, like, comment and share. Thank you.